It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 293 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens, ducks, and geese every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster here in Maryland. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today? Glazed donut. That's what I'm brewing.
I could put a glazed donut in my mouth, but not in my coffee. We're doing some French vanilla.
That's the kind of creamer I'm using. It's really good. And yeah. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious coffee and chat?
I am. But first, some words from our sponsors.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Okie dokie. I always say that. I get teased for it all the time, too. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm dreading next week's heat, inventing lots of projects in the house to do, and yeah.
Working on your CPKs?
Yeah, I'm working on my CPKs. I'm always working on the CPKs. It brings my blood pressure down. And I love taking like the worst dolls, like the ones that like there's no stitching left in them and they're filthy. I just love getting the stains out. I love remaking them. I love everything about the process.
So I just want to make this clear because people may not know what CPKs are. They are Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yep.
They were the big thing in our childhood, one of the bigger things. My mom, she gets them and redoes them, and she gave Holly one a while ago, and it set a fire under Holly Ann with these Cabbage Patch Kids.
Yeah, I have no explanation for that. I'm just going with it.
You received the Cabbage Patch Kid, and then all of a sudden you were on a mission, man. She bought 36 heads of dolls.
Oh, those are the Martha Nelson Thomas heads. Yeah, so I'm making those dolls, right, from the vintage kits from the 80s. But then, like, I'll come across a lot of Cabbage Patch Kids, like 5 or 7 just grody, nasty, dirty dolls. And I will buy them for a very reasonable amount of money. Wash them, restitch them, all that kind of stuff. So yes, I did.
And now you're texting with my mom, which is also hilarious.
She hasn't texted me since that one time. She was asking very penetrating questions, though.
She is that way. Yes, she does.
I was like, give away all my secrets. I got a couple of secrets myself at this point. I'm not going to give them all away.
I know. So I have some good news. I am growing 4 grape tomatoes over here.
Hot damn, look at you go.
One is now alerted me that one is now ripening. And I was like, I'm going to be cursed because I tell that story all the time with Alyssa and the big tomato and the squirrel ate it before she got home. I was like, my tomato plants are up higher, like on a stand. So I was like, okay, well, bunnies can't get them, but the squirrels, that dark squirrel is going to come up and eat that little grape tomato as soon as it turns.
If I were you, I would be wrapping those pots in wire. That's just me. I will tell you that one of my cherry tomatoes has some very mysterious bruising on it that matches the ridges of a goose's bill.
Sure. So I was like, okay, I got 4. And then Ella was like, is that all we're going to get out of these? I'm like, no, they'll keep growing. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, well, that one. I was like, yeah, it wouldn't be a good thing if you only get 1 grape tomato out of the plant.
It'd be a very inefficient growing season.
It would be awful. Yes.
For sure.
And other flower news, I thought I lost all my marigolds in April when that frost came.
Yeah.
They're growing back.
Good.
Yes. I was like, go. And my oregano is doing really well, so I'm happy with that.
Excellent.
Yes. The basil did not make it through that.
No, it wouldn't. It's very tender, yeah.
And my kale was coming back until a dark squirrel came and ate it all the way gone now. So
I had kale and collards that were doing fantastically well. And then like overnight, they were eaten down to nothing by some caterpillars. And I mean, like overnight.
I know. I feel like you got to put your garden under lockdown. How did everybody do it back in the day? Because, I mean, animals are like
stuff. They were there. What part of it is growing a lot because, you just lose stuff here and there. And I picked a lot of the leaves from the kale and the collards and I was like, okay, these are covered with bugs. I couldn't give them to the geese because they were covered with bugs. So I took them back to the ducks and the ducks were like, oh, what the heck is that? Ran away from the greens with the bugs on them.
Oh, they didn't want them?
No, they ate them eventually, but they were very frightened by these leaves at first. I do not know. They were like, no.
I find if you branch out and you're giving chickens some other scraps that they're not used to, they kind of look at it for a while first, too. They're like, what are you giving me? Like, seriously?
I had my original 2 llamas, Blackie and Skippy. Blackie loved apples, so sometimes I would cut up some apples and put it in their food dish, and they would eat all their grain, and then they would eat the apples. Well, the first time I did it, Skippy, he wouldn't even eat his regular food. He kept walking away and giving me these dirty looks. And, the look on his face, he was like, lady, those things are from the devil. Get them out of my food.
Anything that looks different, they look at you like, what?
Yep. He never did get over apples, though. He never went at apples.
Oh, little man and his lady. I mean, you put stuff in there. Little man used to be like, okay, go ahead. Now he's like, he pushes her out and she's just like,
it's a free-for-all.
It is. And on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a typed review. It does amazing things for the growth of our show.
You can just say written because it doesn't, typing is still writing. It's just not handwriting.
That's right. That's why I'm saying typed. You got to type it in.
Okay.
And if you're there, hit the subscribe button after you've typed out the review. Because you never want to miss Holly saying that you shouldn't say typed.
I didn't say you shouldn't say. I said you didn't have to say.
I like saying typed, man.
Okay. If you're looking for other ways to help support the podcast, you can tell a few chicken, duck, or goose loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thank you to our wonderful patrons, and welcome to our newest patron. It's good to have you. And there are 2 more things you can do to help this show. The first is pre-order our book, The Chicken Lady's Guide to Life with Chickens, The Joys of Delicious Eggs, and Raising a Healthy Flock. We've got all the good stuff in this podcast rolled into that book, all the chicken care and medical advice you could need, all the good stuff, everything you need to know. And
it's a library staple. You need it.
Hopefully a lot of entertaining stuff in there too. You can pre-order our book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. There are links on our website. There are links in our Instagram. Pre-ordering helps an author more than anything else. So if you're interested in getting our book, please consider pre-ordering. The other thing you can do to help this show is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
Did you know Omelette have totally changed the chicken feeder and waterer game?
What? Really?
Yep. They've launched an insulated Stay Clean waterer and no waste feeders, and they're perfect for spring and summer.
Wow. Okay. Talk to me about the waterer.
The insulated Stay Clean waterer keeps water fresh in warmer weather, prevents slimy buildup, and it stays crystal clear so your flock always has cool water.
That's a big one in the heat.
It really is. Less refilling, less cleaning, and better hydration for your hens.
Love that. And how are the feeders no waste?
Honestly, they solve all of the feeder problems us chicken keepers face. Spills, wasted feed, and pests getting access to food.
Oh, yes. I'm tired just thinking of all of that.
Both feeders are designed to be spill-proof and secure, keeping feed protected and fresh. They both feed up to 6 chickens for a week, so there's less topping up and far less waste.
That sounds like a serious upgrade.
It is. And if you want to upgrade further, if you opt for the Smart No Waste feeder, you can connect via your phone and get it to open and close at times that suit you.
Whoa, I am sold.
Search Omelette, OMLET, and check out these summer-saving accessories today. The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality rare and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today.
There once was a little Italian chicken. That's my favorite chicken from Italy. And that's the chicken that we see when we look outside in Italy. So we're doing the breed spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one, except that you always start off with there once was a little chicken. And I'm like, no, apparently there are many times where there are little chickens because you do this over and over. But I like the rest of it a lot.
So this week's breed spotlight is
the Production Leghorn.
It's a little leghorn. Little leghorn. Leghorns get a bad rap, but they're one of my favorite chickens. That's for sure.
And this is a bit of a different spotlight from what we usually do. And it's because of our main topic. We're going to be talking about spent industrial laying hens, many of which are leghorns. And while the leghorn is a heritage breed, in commercial settings, they generally come from strains where they have been rigorously selected for maximum egg production.
Poor little leghorns.
Yeah.
In our previous spotlights on leghorns, and those episodes are 250, 184, 172, 85, and 4. That's a lot because you know what? We love the leghorn.
Don't listen to 4. 4 is a little rough around the edges.
4 is amazing. It's my favorite one.
Okay.
We concentrated on heritage lines, right? So heritage leghorns began arriving in the U.S. in the early and mid 1800s, directly from my motherland of Italy. Now, in the late 1800s, leghorns were imported into the U.K. from U.S. breeders. This is one time, right, that the U.K. gets their chickens from us.
Right.
And here's where the history starts to split. UK breeders weren't entirely satisfied with the small, sprightly leghorn. They wanted a bird with a bigger body size that they could use for dual purpose and not just for eggs. So the Brits started breeding the Minorca into the heritage leghorns. And if you listen to our other ones, you've probably learned that along the way. Now, we can't find it confirmed anywhere, but it must have been the white Minorcas, because if you notice, the leghorns are so white.
It's for sure the white Minorca, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the resulting bird was definitely bigger, and the breeders also concentrated on getting those egg numbers even higher. They had great success when they did this. And it's these English hybridish leghorns that are the beginning of the modern production leghorn.
Yep. Now, in 1910, one of these English breeders decided that he had created a good thing and he wanted to share it. His name was Tom Barron. He was from the village of Catforth in Lancashire, and the salesman in this man was strong. In a move that was quite reminiscent of William Cook and his Orpingtons, Barron packed up some of these production leghorns and he brought them over to the U.S. Now, in the early 1900s, there were a lot of these year-long egg-laying contests held all over the English-speaking world. Here in the U.S., the contests were generally held by the various agricultural colleges and experimental stations that would later become university extension offices.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of don't agree with it, the egg laying contest myself, but
I mean, it was super popular. So Barron wanted to pit his leghorns against the U.S. heritage lines to prove that his birds were the better layers. Well, he was right. He entered the 1911 through 1912 Connecticut and Missouri shows, and he won both, breaking records with his birds that outlaid the American heritage leghorns by a wide margin. Needless to say, this was an excellent advertisement for the English leghorns. The whole poultry world was talking about these birds. From 1912 to 1915, there were huge importations of English leghorns to the U.S. Hatcheries, breeders, and especially egg farmers wanted Tom Barron's leghorns. Now, much of what was imported was actually hatching eggs in cockerels, and they were used to breed the Barron lines into that particular farmer's existing stock.
I mean, this is the stuff that goes along that I personally like messing with these genetics so much to even make a super layer, even more of a super layer. I don't agree with, but this is what happens.
Right.
This is totally what happens. Now, while all of this feverish importation is going on, the World War I is looming on the horizon, followed in 20 years by World War II. Was not a great time for people. A lot of American servicemen and women were in Europe for the first time, and they saw firsthand the poverty and the starvation caused by the war. We've talked about this countless amounts of times. Add to this the fact that much of the U.S. was trying to move away from the farmland, take city jobs, sprawl into the suburbs, and you have people who no longer wanted to keep chickens. They wanted modern convenience. They wanted to go to the store. They were fine with buying their eggs and their meat from the grocery store. I mean, modern conveniences are nice. They are nice. Don't get me wrong. This is not to say that stocking commercial farms with these production leghorns was all smooth sailing, because guess what? It wasn't. The first half of the 20th century saw lots of problems with diseases and parasites, etc., Merrick's, and some of the other poultry viruses and bacterial infections ripped through these early U.S. commercial farms, and scientists were busy trying to develop vaccines to control the worst of them. Not a great time to be an industrial leghorn.
When the dust settled after the Second World War, industrial chicken farming was well and truly entrenched in the Western world, in parts of Asia, and was already making big strides into developing countries. Genetics companies were taking over the breeding and stocking the laying industry with these true super laying hybrid hens. Many of the new hybrids had, and continue to have, leghorns as one of their parent breeds. And some of the most common leghorn production strains these days are the Highline W36, the Highline W80, the DeKalb White, and the Lohman LSL, which stands for the Lohman Selected Leghorn. They all have slightly different characteristics that meet the needs of whatever business uses them, but they pretty much all lay high numbers of large white eggs. Unfortunately, they were all bred with high tolerance for confinement, and many spend their lives in cages.
Boo, hiss, no.
Hate it. The fact that we
hate it.
In 2026 in America that we still have animals in cages like this is absolutely inexcusable.
Unacceptable.
It is.
Honestly, it should not be happening. And I'm honestly for, if you can have chickens and have your own eggs, please do so, because you are saving a little life from torture and all of those things. And the eggs are a million times better coming from your backyard.
Absolutely.
Anyway. But, it's awful.
It is awful.
I mean, how many chickens contain the leghorn as a foundation breed? Probably a ton.
A lot of them. Yeah.
I mean, production leghorns are all white with relatively tight feathering and only moderate amounts of fluff. They have straight, very large combs, bright yellow legs. The roosters have big wattles. If you see them, you know them. And the hens often have a floppy comb. My little Lucy does. She's not a production breed, but she does. So they will lay you, get this, 250 to 300 large white eggs per year, and sometimes more. Make sure they have adequate calcium and best nutrition possible to keep them pretty healthy, because they're going to lay a lot of eggs for a long time. So
Their
they
bodies
really need that.
Demand high nutrition. Absolutely.
Here's the other thing. Treat them as a hybrid. Do not light that coop at night.
Yeah.
Do not light that coop. So just like heritage leghorns, those birds they're pretty heat hardy. I mean, keep in mind, they're from the Mediterranean, so that's where they thrive in warm climates. Now, they aren't big fans of the cold, but they'll do all right with good shelter and a heat source on those frigid nights. And those big comb and wattles, let me tell you, they need protection.
Yeah.
Lots of protection.
Yeah.
Now, besides the nutritional needs, they're pretty much like other leghorns. They have a strong startle reflex, but they can become great pets and flock members if you put the time in with them. This is our saying. We've said this 100 times. You get out what you put in. Definitely. Keep a very close eye on them to spot any reproductive problems before they spiral into something bigger, because a chicken that lays a lot of eggs, that's the upside. The downside is that reproductive system's working on overdrive, and you're going to have problems. Anticipate them. Be prepared for them.
This was an interesting spotlight to write, because I didn't know the early history. I mean, I really didn't know how we started with these production leghorns, where, I knew the time when it branched off, but not exactly what happened.
Right.
And so I feel like they're one of the few, and like we called them sort of hybrid-ish, because we know they had the Minorca bred into them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're actually, they're still leghorns, right? They're a breed.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they're one of the few birds that can actually compete not that they would want to, but compete in this industrial arena with the super laying hybrids, which is interesting to me and really like is a big testament to the fact that Leghorns are amazing.
They are. They are. And there's so many distinct things to Leghorns that other chickens do not have.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is.
They're really special.
They're amazing. And they're in my top 3 for favorite chickens.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're absolutely, I love them. They're great. Now, if you want to add some utility Leghorns to your flock without going to commercial hybrids, check out the Pearl White Leghorns bred by McMurray Hatchery. If you find white Leghorns in your local farm supply store, they are generally also utility lines bred by some of the bigger retail hatcheries in the US.
Right.
If you are after heritage Leghorns, don't worry because McMurray has them as well. You can get the gorgeous brown, silver, and red heritage line Leghorns from them, as well as, and I don't have these, but I might like some of these. McMurray also has the rose comb brown Leghorn for folks in colder climates. I just think they're pretty.
Yeah.
For lots of color varieties of Leghorn in straight run, and I mean lots of varieties, including the Exchequer, Sandhill Preservation. Again, they're straight run because they expect that you're going to be breeding, but they've got absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous Leghorns there.
You know what we didn't add to this, which I'm just going to add it in real quick.
Absolutely.
If you want to adopt a spent hen, you're going to listen to this main topic and you're going to go over to Second-Hen'd because you can get Leghorns that will love you. Yeah, so go over there too. So if you have them, give us some pictures. We'd love to see them.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection.
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera.us.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Eaton Pet and Pasture is a farmer-owned company based in upstate New York that creates USA-made, sustainable products for backyard chicken keepers. From low-dust hemp bedding and comfy aspen nesting pads to nutritious treats and odor-eliminating products, everything is designed to keep your coop clean, healthy, and smelling egg-tastic.
All their products are made right here in the USA with ingredients that are safe for your flock and the planet. So whether you're doing a deep clean or just a quick refresh, Eaton makes it simple to care for your coop the natural way.
They're your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness, made easy.
Visit EatonPetAndPasture.com to explore the full line of flock favorites and use the code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount. Are we ready to move on to main topic? Yeah.
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 Okay, for our main topic this week, we have a new guest. Some of you may have heard of her. Others of you are going to be new to the fantastic work she does. We're welcoming Erica Camp to the show. Erica is the founder of Second-Hen'd, a nonprofit that helps with rehoming spent laying hens. Erica, welcome to the show. We're really happy to have you here.
I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
First of all, hello and welcome to the table. And second of all, I love the name that you choose because we're both thrifters, right? So Second-Hen'd. Yes. I love that idea. It's so cute and great job on the name.
Thank you. I mean, in chicken people, puns, it comes together. It works.
It's a pun a second for chicken people. Come on, there's too many of them to even name.
Mm-hmm.
So our first question to you would just be, let's learn a little bit about you, Erica, and how you started and about your own journey in this.
Okay, so it starts back in my younger years. When I was a kid, I was raised on a farm in Colombia, South America. Things are very, very different down there. But I'm an only child, so I didn't have siblings to play with. And on the farm, my job was the chickens. So instead of the siblings, I played with the chickens.
Yay!
I gave them names. I spent all of my time with them. However, their purpose was not there to be my friends. It was there for food. So I would spend all of this time and effort, with these chickens, loving on them. And then their time would come. I would beg for their lives. I was told no pretty much every time except for once. And then I would have to kind of see everything happen. And a few hours later be told, hey, now here, eat your friend.
Oh, that's horrible.
That was very, very traumatic for me. So instead of kind
gut-wrenching,
sensitizing over time and carrying on, it pushed me a complete opposite way. And I knew that I wanted chickens on my own terms. It was just all about timing. So I did the military straight out of high school. Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, no, yes, thank you. I got to
tell you
that. I'm like, you're welcome.
My dad was also Army, and he was in Vietnam, so everybody says it to him, too.
I know. I don't know how. You're welcome. Okay.
I feel your pain there, because as a 4-H kid, I had the same reaction. It did not desensitize me. All it did was make me understand the animals even better and not want to eat them.
Right.
I think you could go one of two ways with this, right? You could go that way where you're desensitized and you follow suit the way that people want you to, right? Or you could do what Holly did, what Erica did, and you can become the opposite and stop the trend of what you were part of. And I love that.
Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, I'm not casting judgment either way.
Right.
Because people need a food supply, etc. But it is interesting how there are individuals that just have that same reaction that you did. Like, I've gotten to know these animals. I can't eat them now.
Yeah, no, and it was hard because even before that, I was always, and my son is very similar. We don't push anything on him. I've always seen the animals as individuals. Mm-hmm. And it was difficult because even though they were there for a food source and I know I need to eat, it's so hard. So I'm very glad that it didn't desensitize me and that it pushed me in a different direction. Like I said, I got my one win. That was Chiquita. I actually got to keep her. She was mine. No one could touch her. But she was a meat chicken, so she didn't live as long as I had hoped. But she was amazing. Her and I were so bonded. And I kind of used her memory, as a way to push me to keep going and working toward that dream of having chickens on my own terms. And so being in the military, we were overseas, we were moving around a lot, living in apartments or barracks. So we couldn't have chickens. And then here in St. Louis, we got our first house. I found out we could have chickens. And that was really it. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I could only have 4 in the beginning. And then they changed the laws. So now we can have up to 8.
Oh,
I definitely took advantage of that. But no, and I have to say it was a bit of a, reality check when I got my first chicks, because that's what I did. I started out with little chicks and they were hard. The mama hens always did all the work and I was like, what the heck? So that was difficult, but that's kind of what got me on my path was that frustration and sadness of losing chicks, this thing that I thought was going to be so easy, that set me toward, you know what? I don't want to do chicks anymore. I want to do older chickens. I want to save chickens from some sort of situation. And I was scouring Craigslist and we have an app called Nextdoor. I was looking for stuff because people were dumping their chickens and we heard about it. But it was always roosters, so I couldn't have them. And then just in that research, it was like, oh, okay, I came across what they do over in the UK. There's multiple groups that do it. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And so I started trying to find something, I was willing to travel, drive something in the area. And I couldn't find anything. So I was like, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to start something myself. It started out as just trying to get a small group for me and a couple friends, chickens for just us. And then it just grew from there.
So tell us about your flock. Do you have 8 now in your flock?
I am currently down to 5.
Okay.
But I leave that space open for whenever we get another batch of girls, it will be filled with more spent hens. But my current batch of ladies, so I have my oldest is Onyx Vanderbeek. She's 10.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I know she's one of my OGs from those original batch of chicks. She's one of the remaining mothers. Yes. And then her sister, I actually just lost her end of last year, Ruby. Mm-hmm. And she was a Rhode Island Red. She passed away at the end of last year. She almost made it to 10. So but
it's hard
for a Rhode Island Red, you got to say.
Yeah. You know what happens? You want them to live even longer because they have these personalities, right? And you get so attached to them. I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going.
You're good.
Keep going.
So then for my flock now, then my next youngest, no, she's an older girl. She's actually my oldest spent hen that I have right now is Miss Blossom Poulet. She's 8.5.
That's amazing.
Yes. And her group was 2 when we got them. So
That's
I've had
awesome.
her for 2.5 years. She's my baby girl. And then I have, and I don't know if some of these names are appropriate. So if you need to go ahead. But Dixie Chick, she's about 5.
That's cute.
She's 5. And then my 2 youngest girls, they are Saffron Combs and Bok Tua. And they're about 2.5.
I love it. And they're so lucky to have you.
Yes. No,
and
I have all spent girls except for Onyx. And then whenever we get more, I will save those 3 spots for 3 more girls.
Okay, so how did this actually start? So when did you start? Where are the babies coming from?
So the idea was hatched back in 2016. That's when I started reaching out to egg producers, trying to find someone who would work with me. It actually took me about 2 years to find someone that would work with us. And until we got that first batch of birds, they didn't trust me. They either thought I was undercover PETA and I was trying to, get footage or get dirt on them to expose them, or they wanted money for the birds. And I was like, sorry, but respectfully, I'm not okay paying for these birds. That money just goes right back into the industry.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to do it. And so that's another reason, because a lot of these smaller egg producers, they do try and get some last minute cash. They realize there's people out here who feel very passionate about this. So they advertise like on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. They try and get people to come and buy those birds off of them. And it's hard because I understand that pull to want to go save these chickens. But the reality is you're just putting that money right back into their pocket, and they're going to do the same thing. And that's why I encourage people instead, go through a group like ours, because I'm very firm about that. I will never pay for the birds. Now, yes, we charge adoption fees, but that is simply to cover the cost that we have to pay to care for the birds, to transport them, veterinary care. That's what that goes towards. So again, it's difficult because you don't want to try and discourage people from doing a good thing, but you also want them to see the reality of where their money is going and how it's contributing to something that they're saying that they don't agree with.
Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't be able to survive without the help from people adopting them and putting in the financial means also to help you with those things.
Yeah.
So, Erica, what's your adoption range? Like, where do most of the people who adopt hens from you live?
So they're mostly Midwest, and we have a lot of people here in Missouri. We've had plenty of adopters come from Nebraska, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Illinois, Arkansas. I'd say the furthest we've had people come was actually upstate New York.
Nice.
We had Pennsylvania. Yeah, we've had people come from all over. They're very passionate about, and I get it because that was me. I was willing to make the trip for some of these girls. And we do our best. I'm trying to think. Kentucky, we've had people come from Kentucky.
I was going to say, do you have people that volunteer that maybe would take them? So if you had an East Coaster like us in Maryland, somebody that could meet us like midway somewhere.
People to do that. Yes.
Like a relay to get the hens to their new home.
Now we don't offer transport just because we do kind of tell people transport is on you. But every opportunity that we have to help where we can, we always do. And that has included some of our own people volunteering to drive 6+ hours to meet somebody somewhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what kind of condition are the hens in? Do you need to hold them for a while and give them care, or are they in good enough shape that they can go right to their new adopted family?
So the birds that we get are coming from the cage system. So they are not in the greatest of shape. They're missing a lot of feathers. Now, part of that is because they're molting. And that is why the egg producers get rid of them, is because they hit that first molt. So instead of waiting a few months for them to start laying again, they're losing money on that. So it's cheaper to just get rid of them and then bring in a younger batch of birds that's laying egg after egg after egg. So the egg producers get rid of them between 1 year and 2 years old when they hit that first molt. Since their body is devoting all of its resources to, regenerating feathers, they stop laying, as most chicken people know.
Right.
So for a period of about 2 to 3 months, if they're not producing eggs, they're not making the egg producers money. So it's cheaper for them to get rid of birds and then bring in a younger batch that's already laying egg after egg after egg. And so that's where we come in and we say, well, we have people who want to give them great lives and let them be chickens for the first time ever. So let us take those birds off your hands. And because they're in such rough shape, we do keep them for a quarantine period. It checks a lot of boxes. It's to make sure that they have a chance to decompress before we throw them into this whole new situation. We get them veterinary care. We get them a little bit used to humans so that, humans being nice to them and treating them properly so that they are better adjusted for adopters. So usually we keep them for anywhere from 2 weeks to about a month.
Okay.
It gives us time to do what we need. But that is because they are in rougher shape when we get them. They sometimes have their beaks trimmed really short. Sometimes their beaks are too long. We have to trim those. Their nails usually average about 3 inches. We have to
Oh my gosh.
They have poop caked in their nostrils and sometimes in their ears. So we clean all that out. They get full checks. It's a lot of work, but we want the very best for them.
I noticed another thing on your website which is amazing, and everyone who is listening to this episode and knows our podcast knows that one of our main missions is to have veterinary care for chickens, for backyard chickens, for whatever chickens. Somehow they slip through the cracks and we don't understand why. So I saw on your website that you help people find veterinarians, which is the same thing we do to treat sick chickens. And you were telling me that actually it's one of the things that they have to have a veterinarian that they go to in order to adopt. And I commend you so much for this. It's amazing.
And I mean, people may not like to hear it, but I am very upfront about our expectations. And we tell people right off the bat, we are looking for people who want to treat these chickens as pets first and foremost. And part of that is we require that you have an established veterinarian who will see your chickens and help take care of them if they get injured, if they're sick, predator attacks are a thing. I understand that a lot of people are knowledgeable in chickens, but sometimes there just is stuff that requires that veterinary care. And again, we want the very best for these birds. And so if that means that you decide you don't want chickens from us, then guess what? We're going to just have to be okay with that, because we feel like you very, very strongly that like any other pet or animal that you take into your care, you should have a plan for if something goes wrong. And
amen, sister. I'm serious. Amen, sister. I love hearing it from someone else that's just as passionate as we are about chickens.
I will die on this hill.
It is. And they deserve it. And all the things. I mean, going even through your website, I see that you go and you're using some of these chickens as therapeutic chickens in the farmers markets and reaching people and making them aware of what's going on. This is half the battle. This is over half the battle is awareness. I say this all the time. If we have a breed that could be going extinct or something else, it's because people aren't aware of it. I love it.
Speaking of breed, White Leghorns, they get kind of a bad rap. A lot of
people
say like, oh, they're flighty. Don't get them. Don't do this. Don't do that. And so for just that reason alone, we have people that are like, I'm not going to adopt from you because they're white leghorns. And I'm like, but you don't understand. Like, I don't know if it's these birds specifically, they're so different, but I've met so many white leghorn owners and those experiences are not what we're experiencing. And I think it's because of how we treat our birds. They are
so
like pets.
I have a white leghorn who's 8 years old named Lucy. She takes car rides with me in my lap. She goes on the shows with us to educate. She walks around. She meets and greets everybody in a sling, in my sling.
Because they're so chill.
They are. And we have a saying. We say you get back what you put in, right? So if you put the time and the care in, those birds are willing to give it back. Just like flightiness isn't always a bad thing. It's to be alert if something's coming to get them. So if they learn, that the care and love from people.
The best alerters when they're outside and they're a predator. I mean, you want that. They're the first ones that notice something's wrong. But then they're also sweet when they want to be, like it's just something that I wish, like you were saying, what you put in is what you get out of it. And for these specific chickens, I do kind of feel that it's similar to like a puppy mill situation or cats in a hoarding environment.
It is.
So the time and effort that you put in to these birds is what you will get back. But even if you just get leghorns as chicks or from a different situation, if you get them and you just throw them in your backyard or on your property because you're like, oh, I just have them for eggs and you don't spend any time with them, they're going to be flighty.
Any chicken would. Any chicken.
Will be. Even the you say are the sweetest. Like,
exactly.
Like they're going to be like teenagers unsupervised out there doing whatever they want,
Right.
But if you show them that you have all the good things that they want and you're a protector and you're there and you're a safe being, they're going to love on you. Like I have a hammock in my backyard. As soon as that thing comes out and I lay down, it's like a chicken pile on top of me.
It's so funny you say that. I had one. We bore it out, actually. Oh, River, that's Holly's dog. He's coming to see us. So she lays on the hammock with me in the backyard. And, it's so funny to see. When I saw on the website that you had leghorns, first of all, I see those pictures and I want to cry. Honestly, they're so pale. They're so undernourished, everything. And it makes me want to just jump in and help. But to see leghorns is to say, okay, these chickens are strong and they can be really great pets. And at a year or two, they still have a long life ahead of them. So it's amazing what you do.
Your girl's 8.
Yeah.
This leghorn, she's 8.5.
Yeah.
I mean, my 10-year-old, she still lays eggs.
Yeah. I mean, Lucy.
Fancy breed.
She's 8.5. She's had 2 surgeries. She had to have a toe amputated because she cut it. And she did have a reproductive problem in which she had an atopic egg in her abdomen. And our veterinarian, Dr. Rebecca, she comes on the show all the time. She did the surgery and got the egg out of her abdomen. So, and now she, knock on wood, is doing fine. But it's just getting that awareness out there, people to know that you're out there. Now, Second-Hen'd, you just have to look up the website. We're going to have links in our show notes for your website, because you do have how can people help? And I want to ask this, which you have it on the website, but let's talk about this a little bit. How can people help other than them? They can physically, if they're in the St. Louis area, they want to get in contact with you, they can volunteer their time, but how else can they help the organization?
Well, I know it sounds cheesy and I don't want to be that person because I hate it. I cringe when I say this, but something that's free and super easy to do is follow us on social media. That's a way to show your support. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Okay.
We're not the best at some of them. We're still trying to figure it out. I admit it. But the more people that we have to interact with our content, share, like, subscribe, all the things, that really does help us out, because as a nonprofit on those platforms, we have to have a business account. So they still see us as a business. They don't care that we're a 501c3. They don't.
Right. Right.
So what that means is they push our content down, and if we want it to be seen, they expect us to pay for it.
Exactly.
We don't have that kind of money, because it's not like people are throwing money at us to save chickens.
Right.
That is a way to help us beat the algorithm. If you feel inspired or called to donate, we will never say no to donations. That's always very helpful. If you're in the area, you can contact us about volunteer opportunities. We don't really have a ton right now since we don't have a permanent location, but that is a goal for the future. And if we were able to finally secure something like that, there would be a lot more opportunities for people to come help us when we get a batch of birds. Yeah, I mean,
is there a place if someone wants to send you a donation or help with supplies, or do you have an Amazon page which has things you need?
On our Linktree. So on our Linktree, we have our PayPal giving fund, and then we also have Venmo. Those are both linked there. I believe if they still do it on Facebook and Instagram, you could start a fundraiser that would go to us. Those are the main ways. I mean, if someone is really old school and they wanted to send us a check, that we would happily accept that as well. Just reach out and we'll give you an address that you could send that to. Yeah, that's the main stuff that I know of that's available for most people that they could sign up for if they're not already.
If you had to give everyone a call to action, like one thing that they could do to help not just your rescue, but chickens in general, what would that be?
Oh man, you're going to make me think.
I know that's a loaded question in a lot of ways.
A loaded gun there.
Like one thing that I could do to call people to action. You got to help me out here.
Get a vet.
Well, no, yes, that would be, I mean, that's, can I say something about that real quick?
Sure.
We have a little bit of time. Okay. So back to the vet thing real quick. Another thing to keep in mind to throw out there to these people who push back on that and say, well, we don't need a vet or we don't have one that will see chickens. The more you request it, the more vets are going to be like, oh, maybe we should start learning about chickens or we should start seeing them. And then that filters to the universities and the colleges, the programs.
To have continuing education.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to get to them and say, we need to start offering more because more people are requesting this. And then that means more veterinarians ultimately will see chickens and you have options. So just something I'd like to put in there for that as well. When people say, well, we don't need one. Yes, you do. So a call to action. Yeah. Advocate for chickens, just even if it's just advocating for them as pets so that they can be seen by more veterinarians, because a lot of veterinarians consider them livestock. They won't see them as anything other than that. So they refuse to treat them.
The funny thing there is that both Dr. Rebecca, our current chicken vet, and my farm vet, they both said repeatedly the chickens are really good patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're easy to work with. And if there's a demand and if you're a vet, you're going to bring the clients in if you see avian and poultry. So it doesn't seem like there's a downside to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's out there, but you're doing it. I love this number, 1065, 1,065 hens that you have saved. Let's get it going higher, everybody. Yes, everybody who's listening right now, how can you help? If it's not adoption, do something else. Let's help Erica in this because, man.
I would like to say this too about the number. Like, I know it's not the biggest number, but it's what we've been able to do with what we have.
It's amazing.
Like I said, it goes back to the whole veterinary care. We feel very strongly that for every bird that we get, we have to be able to give them 100%. So even if the egg producer would give us a couple thousand birds if we had the money and the ability to care for that many. But we also don't want to say, well, let's take 2,000 birds, but only give them 20%,
Right.
Veterinary care, they aren't, properly taken care of. And we want to make sure that they go to good homes. So, yeah.
You have made a huge difference in the lives of 1,065 hens. And that's more than a lot of people get to do in their life.
That's amazing. Don't ever downplay that number. That's amazing work. And we want to see it go higher. So listeners, see how you can help. And let's get these battery hens homes. I mean, they can still live a long life, a very long life. Erica has one that's 10 right now, basically. That was her first chick. But I mean, you have one that's
8.5.
8.5. Yeah. Holly, while you had to step away for a second, we were talking about Lucy, the Leghorn, because of all the Leghorns. And Erica has a Leghorn and how people are a little reluctant to adopt them because they're Leghorns. It's like, don't be.
They're so great. They're just the best chickens. I love them.
Yeah.
They're my favorite now. They are. They are.
Okay, Erica, we're going to have to say goodbye for today, but we definitely want you to come back, and very soon. We're going to talk about a few other aspects next time you come back, all about this, because, wow, we found you in the US, somebody helping spent hens. If we had a sound effect to go, woohoo, I would.
Why do we need a sound effect?
That's awesome work, and we'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We just want to thank Erica once again for a really, really great chat. It was kind of a crazy day, and Erica was just a trooper through all of the craziness that was going on for us. She's doing amazing things. She has made a difference in the lives of over 1,000 hens. Check out Second-Hen'd links in our show notes. And if you're looking to adopt some chickens, that would be a great place to start.
Yeah, go over and put in an application at Second-Hen'd because they're Leghorns that need a second chance. Definitely. And Holly, and just just so that everybody knows, like you said, there were a few little things going on with Phoebe, one of her sheep. So
we had
Holly had to step away of the interview just for a few minutes. So that's why she wasn't part of it, just for a few minutes.
Sheep emergency. If your flock could talk, they would thank you for shopping at Eaton Pet and Pasture, your one-stop shop for coop freshness and flock happiness made easy.
From their all-natural USA-made favorites like hemp bedding, roost refresh, and nesting pads to convenient product bundles that make chicken care simple, Eaton has everything you need to keep your coop clean, cozy, and odor-free.
Check them out at EatonPetandPasture.com and use code COFFEE at checkout for a first-time purchase discount.
Okay, so are we ready to move on to
cracking the eggs?
Cracking those eggs. Now, okay, we're a little past strawberry season, but I feel like all summer is strawberry season.
You can still get them. I mean, because a lot of farms have moved to not just June bearing, but ever-bearing, or is that what they call them, ever-bearing strawberries? Yeah. You know, the strawberries that have a longer season.
You can get strawberries all year round. They're just not grown locally, but...
Yes, they're not grown locally at all. Like, not in the same hemisphere.
So this week, we are doing strawberry donuts. And if you want to see pictures, this is the first week that Allison is working with us and officially working with us. We did a sneak peek, and those pictures were gorgeous.
Oh, the cherry chocolate chip brownies.
Yes.
Cherry chocolate chip bars. The pictures were gorgeous. Those bars are delicious.
So go over to Instagram because I'll have them up this morning.
I've been developing recipes since I was a little kid. And it's one of my favorite parts of doing the show is developing recipes, but I've never seen my recipes created and photographed like that before. And it was a moment of amazingness.
Yeah, we both love it. Right?
Absolutely. And to be fair, when we did the strawberry donuts, it was a few weeks ago and strawberries were in season. So we didn't make the recipe out of season. These are not super duper sweet donuts. They're more like a breakfast donut. They're not heavily glazed or anything. I guess you could put extra.
I love donuts that you could just bake in the oven or do whatever. You know, these are fun to make. And you always feel like a little, when you make those kind of I always make them in the fall with apples. But when you make them, you always feel a little bit more experience. I made donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go through the ingredients that we need for this recipe. And it's 1 cup of all-purpose flour or gluten-free 1-to-1 flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, a 1/2 cup of buttermilk or dairy-free buttermilk. And basically, if you don't have it, you add a 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice to plant milk, and then you stir it and let it sit for 10 minutes to curdle. Sounds gross, but it works. 2 chicken or duck eggs, a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, a generous 3/4 cups of strawberries, chopped small. And this one, if you want more strawberries, do it. What happens is they can make the donut a little bit too moist if you have too many berries in there, but
it makes because I did one batch with more than a cup of strawberry bits.
Yeah.
And what it did was it made them just fall apart because there wasn't enough batter. Yeah.
There's not enough. I mean, it's just, so, kind of play around with how you like it.
3/4 was about as far as I could push it without losing the integrity of the donut.
So the glaze, you're going to need a cup of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of strawberry jam, remove any chunky bits of strawberry, a tablespoon of milk or water or plant milk.
You're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, spray or grease your donut pan and set it aside. This recipe makes about a dozen donuts, so you either want to have a 12-count donut pan, 2 6-count donut pans, or you're going to have to repeat the bake with the second batch using the remaining half of the batter. It works. Whatever you do, it's going to work. In a medium to large mixing bowl, add the flour, baking powder, salt, and nutmeg, and whisk to blend the ingredients together. To that, you're going to add the oil, the buttermilk, the eggs, the sugar, and the vanilla, and stir it until it's combined. Add the chopped strawberries and fold in gently with a spatula or a wooden spoon. And that's the batter. It is that easy.
Yeah. I mean, donuts are easy. They're easy.
They're really easy. Spoon the batter into the donut pans, and you're going to bake for about 15 to 18 minutes or until the donuts are browned and they spring back when you touch them. Take them out, place them on a rack, and allow them to cool for about 10 minutes. Then turn them out of the pans and let them cool the rest of the way.
Now, I put my batter in a baggie and just cut the edge off, and I squeeze it.
You can certainly pipe these, but you're going to have to make the hole big enough that the strawberry chunks get through.
Yeah. I generally do that even for the apple ones. I feel like it's easier for me, but...
Well, we talked about this, I don't know, not too long ago when I said...
you said you like to spoon.
Pipe. I just spoon. I'm too lazy to pipe. Once the donuts are completely cool, then you can make and apply the glaze. And if the glaze is too runny, add a bit more powdered sugar until it reaches desired consistency. I mean, the easiest thing is to go scant on the liquid until you see how thick it is, because you can always add more liquid, but you can't take it out.
That's a rule with everything. Start smaller, then go bigger.
Yeah, for sure. In a small mixing bowl, you're going to add the milk and the jam to the powdered sugar and stir until a glaze has formed. It should be nice and thick. Use a teaspoon to drizzle the glaze all over the donuts. Allow it to dry completely and then serve. And there are your strawberry donuts.
There you go. Take them to a friend's house. Take them to your bestie's house. Enjoy over a cup of coffee. Talk some chickens. Let us know if you like them. Try it. You might like it. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy is a seed spotlight, and it is sweet potatoes, one of my most favorites.
This week's seed spotlight isn't really a seed, but it is a plant that is completely edible for both you and your poultry. I love them too. They're one of my favorite things.
The plant is, but not the skins. Don't eat the skins to the potatoes.
They can be a little rough. I mean, I've eaten sweet potato skins before. They can be a little rough, yeah. Now, that includes those pretty sprawling vines and tiny purple, pink, or white flowers, because the sweet potato vine is completely edible too. You actually grow sweet potatoes from slips. So the vines, and they often start out purple in color, that you sometimes see grow out of sweet potatoes that you don't eat quickly enough, those are the slips. Sweet potatoes are actually in the morning glory family, and they have no relation whatsoever to regular potatoes, which are in the nightshade family. This means that people with allergies or intolerances to the nightshade family can usually eat sweet potatoes with no problems. I say usually because I'm sure there are exceptions.
Always. There's always an exception.
And there are ornamental sweet potato vines that are a bit showy, or they're quite pretty if you put them in a pot and they kind of trail out. But for this spotlight, we're only talking about the kind that grows the big orange, purple, or white tubers, the sweet potatoes themselves.
Sweet potatoes are well known for being nutritious and full of dietary fiber. They are low on the glycemic index and contain resistant starch, helping feed beneficial bacteria and keep blood sugar from spiking. I love them. I eat them. They're part of my healthy new diet that I'm trying to eat. Orange sweet potatoes are especially rich in beta carotene and in vitamin A and C. They're one of those things that you can eat and feel really good about, bolstering your immune system and providing you and your birds with antioxidants that help combat oxidative stress in your body and ward off disease. I mean, any way you look at it, sweet potatoes are good to eat. They're really good food. You can make them into many different ways. Cut them up, bake them, make fries out of them, do a bunch of stuff. Purple sweet potatoes are especially rich in anthocyanins, antioxidants, and help fight inflammation, which I need right now because I can barely walk. and work to keep your brain healthy and slow cellular aging.
If you're planning to feed sweet potatoes to your chickens or other poultry, you'll want to follow a few best practices. When feeding raw, you either want to feed the whole potato for them to peck at, or you want to cut them into small enough pieces that your birds can't choke on them. Skip the peels also if there's any chance that they could get stuck in your chicken's crop. We just straight up compost peels because we don't want to take that chance.
I stopped giving peels of something long time ago.
Years ago, yeah. Yep.
It can cause problems that you don't want to know. It can cause crop problems so easily.
You can either feed raw or cooked potatoes to your birds, and they will happily eat those vines as well. But try to keep your flock out of the vines until you're closer to harvest, which is usually like 90 to 120 days. I know what I'm talking about because the geese decimated my vines last year, and I got 2 sweet potatoes.
Well, 2's better than none.
It's better than none. And one of them I played tug of war with Pfeffernuss. She had it in her bill. So they also prefer to grow in full sun with slightly sandy or loose, well-draining soil.
They would be good at my house then, because my soil is kind of that way. It's a little rocky, but I haven't tried sweet potatoes yet. I want to see how I do with the. Yeah, I'm sure they are. It's easy to get your hands on sweet potato slips, right? If you want to grow your own. So that's always a good thing. Most farm supply stores will sell slips in late spring to early summer. Sweet potatoes are one of the plants that like summer heat and grow happily until fall harvest. You can also order slips from online seed and plant sellers. Buying in person often limits you to just a few varieties. Okay, so let's go through the varieties. We have Beauregard, Georgia Jet, Covington, Centennial. These are all good, but if you're craving something different, if you want to try some rare varieties, check out the huge variety of sweet potato slips grown and sold by Sandhill Preservation Center. So you can get your chicks and your sweet potatoes at the same spot.
And seeds too. They have a lot.
They have a lot of stuff. They have white, purple, and orange types, varieties that grow well in pots and small places, and varieties with different shaped leaves. A few notable mentions from Sandhill are Bermuda Pink, Chinese Empress, Ginseng Red, Queen of the South, Maryland Cream, and Okinawan Purple.
That last one, Okinawan Purple, is really interesting because you've heard of the Blue Zone diet.
Yeah.
That particular purple sweet potato is so nutritious, it's supposed to be a big part of that diet.
We were in Costa Rica, and apparently there was a National Geographic that talked about the Blue Zone diet. And they had it there. Sophia wanted it because she was very into it. And then we're like, no, we'll order it. Couldn't find it any other place.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I mean, the Blue Zone diet, I mean, when you watch the shows and you read up on it, wow, people live a very long, healthy life.
It's very plant-based. It's very plant-based. If you have a garden, you could grow a whole bunch of it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I just have to get a greener thumb. I just have to be able to grow. Every year I'm trying to grow more and more stuff. So
your problem, Chris, is that you don't have the infrastructure.
No, I need
trying to make beds when you don't have beds or places to plant them. It's like kind of self-defeating.
Yeah, I mean, my stuff that I have planted over the years grows very well.
Yeah, any place you have established beds or pots or something, you have no problem with it. But if you want to grow veg, you just need more beds and things like that to grow in.
Yeah, like that old school kitchen garden from in England, from at Kew Gardens.
God, that was amazing. That was
that goes through my list of like really favorite gardens I've ever seen. That kitchen garden. Never seen anything.
Kew Palace. That was a Kew Palace. Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that. Okay.
That was amazing.
So go get yourself sweet potato slips. Plant them. Okay. So should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week, we are spotlighting an old breed, a tiny little bird, very pretty, the Japanese Bantam.
They're cute.
They are adorable. Main topic, we're talking about eye injuries in chickens. This is a really good one to listen to, whether you've had any problems or not, just to, have some best practices.
Yeah, you got to know what to do.
Cracking the eggs, we're doing a blueberry mint fizz cocktail.
I need one.
Yeah, I could use one too. And retail therapy, we're talking about our favorite coop fans. This changes every year as new things come on the market. So if you're looking for some really good fans, give this one a listen.
Definitely. Okay, what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens, ducks, and geese.
And kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. Thanks for listening.